it's Allison Monday from Tiny Blue Orange, and I wanted to walk you through the menus area of WordPress. This is something that comes with every WordPress website, whether it's custom or not, and it can be an incredibly useful tool for any business or blog using WordPress. To get to this screen, in your left-hand menu, go to Appearance and then Menus. If your site already has some menus created, you'll see them listed. If you don't have any menus yet, this is what you will see. We're going to create a new menu since this is a video demo. And so just give it a name. This is for your internal reference only. So I'm going to call it Video Menu. And then click the Create Menu button. The color of this button will depend on the colors that you're using for your dashboard, which you can set in your user preferences. So now that we have this menu created, you'll see at the selection for what menu to edit, it's listed, and you can kind of hop between these, but we're going to stick with video menu. And then we're going to be able to add pages, posts, links, etc. But first I want to talk about menu settings. So the first thing is auto add pages. I almost never recommend automatically adding new pages to any menu, simply because most website owners are creating things like thank you pages or client-specific pages or content specifically for folks on their newsletter list. And if you automatically add new pages to your menu, all of that stuff will appear on your navigation. So it's best to just leave this unchecked unless you're creating a brochure site only with no additional or like secret style pages. This might save you just a little bit of time. The next area is display location. This section itself is going to be very theme specific in that each theme is going to have a different number of options. For example, this is a tiny blue orange coded theme. So we have primary, footer, and social navigation. So if I wanted this menu specifically to display in the top navigation, I would check that checkbox. I could have it appear in all three, or I could have it appear in just one, or I could have it appear in none while I'm working on it and choose to have it show down the road. These options also exist under Manage Locations. So this Manage Locations tab gives you the same options as those checkboxes, and you can assign a menu from your available menus. So remember that you need to have the menu in the list first. Otherwise, if you hit Use New Menu, it'll pop you back over here to create a new menu. So now that we've gone over the menu settings, let's talk about the menu structure. Again, this area is going to be a little bit theme dependent, but using this theme, all four of these options are available for WordPress menus out of the box. So if you install WordPress, no extra plugins, no custom themes, you will have the option to add pages, blog posts, custom links, and blog categories. You need to have published pages, posts, and categories in order to use these items. So drafts and private things will not be visible. But once you've created that content, you'll be able to then add it to your menu. More often than not, you're going to utilize pages and custom links. If you are a food blogger or somebody that is doing pretty heavily promoted blog content, you'll likely add category links into your menu or tag links. That is up to you. But we're going to focus on pages and custom links for this video. Just know that the things that apply for pages apply to posts and categories where you'll be able to view all of your content that's published and search for things. So heading to pages, and anytime anything is collapsed in WordPress, if you see this little down arrow, you can click it to expand. From here, you're going to see your most recent pages. If you wanted a list of all pages that are public, view all is a good option. You can see this site doesn't have very many pages. If you have 100 or 200 pages, search might be your best bet because scrolling through a long list could be time consuming. So I'm going to stick in the view all area, and I'm simply going to click the pages that I want to appear in my menu. So once I've selected them, I'm going to click add to menu, and WordPress pops them in over here. Alternatively, you can select all, add to menu, or deselect from there, and again, add to menu. So now I've added these pages in. Let's say I also want to add a custom link. So first I'm going to type in the URL, and then I'm going to type in the link text. So simply put, the URL is where the link will go. The link text is what will show on your menu. I'm going to click add to menu, and it adds it. You might have noticed that anything you add adds right to the bottom of the list of options. So if I were to go to categories and click thoughts, add to menu, it's at the bottom. This link will link to the thoughts category and show any and all posts that live in that category. Let's say I'm happy with this. I'm going to click save menu, and I'm good to go. But what if I wasn't happy with this? What if I wanted to do a little bit of rearranging of the items on the menu? It's pretty simple, which is awesome. And all you're going to do is you're going to click and drag on the item that you want to rearrange. So I clicked and dragged and brought this up to the top. And then let's say I wanted contact to be the very last thing. And then I think services is good. Well, let's say this. Instead of thoughts being with all of these items, let's say I want it to be nested under blog. I'm going to click and drag it, and then I'm going to drag it over to the right. So you'll notice it's indented, and now it says sub item. If your theme supports drop-down menus, thoughts will now display as a drop-down when a user hovers over blog. Now let's say I don't actually want to link to Google from my menu. I'm going to toggle this open, and I'm going to click remove. Then it clears it out. So now I'm going to save the menu, and I've got my changes made. But let's say I wanted to dig a little bit further into customizing each of these menu items. I can open them up, and I can change the navigation label. So just like the custom link where you get to type exactly what appears in the menu, the navigation label will do that. So let's say I wanted to change the home to get started. Let's say I wanted to change blog to articles and contact to contact us. You'll now see that these changes I made are available in the preview, but when I open it up, WordPress also shows me what it originally said, which is pretty helpful. I'm going to save those changes. The other really cool thing you can do with WordPress menus is you can set items to open in a new tab, or you could even assign a class to the menu item. Now that's getting a little bit nerdier and has to do with CSS and styling, but I still want to show you the options. First, in this upper right corner, click Screen Options, and you'll see Advanced Menu Properties. From here, I can choose to set a link target, a title attribute, CSS classes, link relationship, and description. The majority of what you're going to want to control are the link target, maybe the title attribute, and the CSS class. Each item that you check is going to bring up the option down here. So now if I open Get Started, which was home, you'll see that we have now the title attribute, the ability to have it open in a new tab, the ability to set a CSS class, a link relationship, and a description. What I love is that WordPress tells you right here, the description will be displayed in the menu if the current theme supports it. So you might type a bunch of stuff in here and it might not matter. So please keep that in mind and know what your theme does and does not include. Again, CSS classes are very specific to applying styling to your menu. And so whether you made those CSS changes yourself or your developer did, you'll want to know that. But here, open link in new tab, simple checkbox. So if you put any social links or links to a landing page or a service that you're offering that doesn't live exactly on your website, you might check that box. Title attribute is what displays when you hover over a menu item. So it's kind of like a tip or a little bit more info for your user. So if get started or articles doesn't feel descriptive enough and you want to add a little bit more, you could do so. So let's say articles, I was like, I want to make sure everyone knows, read our latest posts. So when someone hovers over articles, that's what they'll see. As always, make sure you save your changes once you're done. And that is how you use the WordPress menu editor.